Hey, what's up everyone? It's your friendly neighborhood comic book geek, back at it once again with my monthly comic book haul. This month's haul will consist of some Jim Lee goodness, a little on the Star Wars heavy side, I know, shocker, some obscure Bronze Age cuts this time around. I'm still on my copper kick, some specs, some fillers, some cover grabs, you know, the usual stuff. And as usual, I will be kicking off my haul with some current grabs from off the rack. So, this just came out this week, Harley Quinn, number 18, the 30th anniversary C cover, and I love this Batman #1 homage cover. I'll probably be picking up more of these as I go along. Haven't picked up a Harley Quinn issue in God knows how long. Here we have Batman number 126. This is the C cover, which is an homage to Amazing Spider-Man 316. What can I say? I dig anytime there's a Todd Father homage going on in the Batman title. And this title's great. Great writer, great artist. I mean, at this price, that's all I can really ask for. Moving along. Here we have Star Wars number 25. I don't usually go after incentive variants very often when they first come out, but I fell in love with this Steve McNiven cover. And I'm hoping that this is just one half of another cover that by Steve McNiven that will follow this. I mean, you have pretty much a lot of the old school characters here, and I'm hoping the other half will feature, you know, characters like Mando, Ahsoka, Thrawn, the Rebels cast, some of the High Republic. That would be awesome. So, as for the issue itself, I mean, I was let down by this issue. This seemed like an anniversary issue that was missing the main story. It just seemed like all the backups that would usually be in a big anniversary issue were, like, the main course for this comic. So, yeah. Moving along. Another comic that I'm not buying at the moment, but Han Solo and Chewbacca. This is the Ahsoka Tano Choose Your Destiny variant, and anything with Ahsoka on it, I mean, I just buy it. It's all there is. So another cover grab, and these next three will also be cover grabs. So here we have Dr. Aphra number 12, and I have been collecting these Lucasfilm LTD 50th anniversary variants. So these were a couple that slipped by me. I believe these were during the Battle of the Bounty Hunters crossover, so I do have the A covers for these, but I never ended up seeing these covers, so picked them up for all cover price. So awesome Boba Fett Jabba the Hutt cover. Here's my man Hondo, who doesn't appear on many covers, so had to pick that up for Dr. Aphra number 18. And lastly, Darth Vader number 19, which features my man Kylo Ren, my favorite character from the sequel trilogy. Well, pretty much the only character I really like from the sequel trilogy, even though he killed Han, that dirty bastard. So, yeah, then that's pretty much the state of my pull list. My pull list is pretty poor at the moment. All right, this might go into a rant. I apologize in advance if it does, but I'm basically down to 9 titles now. Let's see, what are they? Batman, Flashpoint Beyond, and Wolverine are pretty much the only traditional superhero titles that I'm picking up at the moment. And I'm also picking up Darth Vader, Bounty Hunters, which should be the most kick-ass comic, Star Wars comic out there, but it isn't. The Mandalorian, Obi-Wan, and I'm also picking up Berserker and from IDW and Nocterra from Image. And that's it. That's it. And I think, and this is where the rant comes in, I think the problem with comics right now is triple fold. And for the first time ever, I'm really worried about the industry. It seems like the big two are too cheap to pay for big-time talent anymore. I mean, there aren't many A-list writers on any of the titles, and there certainly aren't any A-list artists. I mean, you know, it would be really good for sales. Put some great art on there. Where's David Finch? Where's Assad Ribic? Where's Jerome Opeña? Where's J.G. Jones? Where's Todd McFarlane? Where's Greg Capullo? Where's Gary Frank? Where's Ed Benes? I mean, it's like they're charging us for more and giving us less. And they're wondering what the problem is. I mean, this was never more evident than at San Diego Comic-Con, where there was basically very little comic book news. The only things that came out of there that were of note were a Spawn Batman crossover, which, oh my god, it's going to have some great art on it. Wow, what a concept. And a Spider-Man X-Men crossover, which, no-brainer, a lot of creativity from the House of Ideas there. So, and all the rest is, you know, basically movie news. So, as far as the industry goes, you know, overpriced, mediocre content. We have a fan base that's basically just speculating now because, I mean, look at how things are going on San Diego Comic-Con. If there was a want for more comic book news, they would be giving out more comic book news there. And influencers are kind of ruining this hobby also. I don't like to be negative, but anytime I see someone in the YouTube community passing off a first appearance as a second print or a third print, and you guys are in your 40s, you guys should know better. Unsubscribed. If someone's putting out bad information out there that's obviously false just to change a narrative and try to influence the market, I unsubscribe. If you happen to be doing an infomercial for you know, a comic that comes along with a donut, I unsubscribe. I mean, it's not good for the hobby. You're not doing anything good for the hobby. There's less comic book hauls out there. It's more about, you know, these 10 books that you have to buy now, or this book has dropped by 80%. These 5 books have dropped 80%. These 7 books have dropped 80% every other day. Ugh. Anyway, sorry, rant over. On to the back issues. Okay, kicking it off, my second copy of X-Men Legacy number 223. And I just love this homage to Frank Miller's Wolverine number 1. So, yeah, picked it up. Cover price, why not? She-Hulk number 34. Really looking forward to this series. I mean, once again, I don't see what the problem is with the CGI. I think it looks great, especially for the small screen. So, looking forward to it. Bought that one basically for the cover. I think that's a Mike Diodato cover. She-Hulk number 7. Another little run that I like to pick up here and there is the John Byrne Sensational She-Hulk run, which I didn't pick up initially on the first time around. But this character that's holding up She-Hulk on the cover appeared in the Immortal Hulk series with Al Ewing, so I was kind of curious as to what was going on there. Getting into some Copper Age stuff, Fantastic Four, number 284 from the classic John Byrne run. She-Hulk on the cover, but she wasn't the reason that I picked this particular issue up. This issue, I love comic book history, and this issue is the issue where they finally changed Sue Storm's name from the Invisible Girl to the Invisible Woman. About time. All right, second copy of Marvel Age, number 82, which features preview drawings of Cable and Strife, and I believe some other members of what would turn out to be X-Force or the New Mutants towards the end of the New Mutants run by Rob Liefeld. Pretty neat. Marvel Age, number 98. I already have a copy of the Toxic Avenger, number 1, so I saw this. This is only a VG copy, or maybe Fine Minus, I don't know, but it had a preview appearance. I like these old Marvel Age previews. They're kind of cool. Balder the Brave, number 1, just a cool copper, the Age premiere issue miniseries that I never owned, so saw it in a bargain bin, why the heck not? Picked up my second copy of Cloak and Dagger, number 1, from their first miniseries, and I also picked up while I was there Cloak and Dagger number 1, first issue of their ongoing series. A couple of reprints. Marvel Milestone, which reprints The Incredible Hulk number 1, a comic which I will never own, most likely. And DC versus Marvel Comics number 1, but this happens to be the second print, which you can tell by the barcode, and I want to say the color scheme on the title is a little different. I have this, well, I own a complete set of this, but I figured why the heck not? I didn't know it existed, so I thought it was pretty cool. Amazing Spider-Man number 406, and this features the first, well, female Dr. Octopus. I don't know, for some reason or another, this book kind of, like, became, like, a small key. I'm not sure why, but for, like, $2 or $3, why not? Remember when she was a thing? Madame Xanadu, number 1 from Vertigo. So that's the A cover and the B cover. So, pretty cool. Let's make a little bit of room. Staying with the cheap DC spec. Blue Beetle, number 1. which should be a movie coming out from Warner Brothers, unless they cancel it. Who knows? And as far as the whole Batgirl controversy, I mean, if the movie is really as bad as they said it was, like a bad episode of television, and I have to admit, for a lot of the choices that they were making with the movie, I wasn't really a big fan of. I'd rather see it scrapped than see another bad DCU comic book movie. Unlike Marvel, DC really can't afford it. So here's my second copy. This one's a little bit nicer than the other one. And I also picked up Blue Beetle from his 1980 series, number 14, which features a cameo appearance of this character right here, whom I forget the name, but it's supposed to be one of the antagonists in the Blue Beetle movie, if it ever comes out. So some nice copper right there. And I did enjoy that series. I am a Blue Beetle fan. It's one of those goofy characters. Well, the Ted Kord version, which I know won't be featured in the movie, but love the Ted Kord Blue Beetle. Doctor Strange, number 15. This is like either my second or third copy of this controversial comic. I want to say this is well, it features Amy Grant, who I believe was a Christian singer, and this comic had to be recalled or something like that. I'm not sure. But newsstand edition. And Doctor Strange, number 62. And I just bought this because I thought this was just a kick-ass Doctor Doom cover that I had never seen before. All right, let's get into the second batch of Star Wars. As I said, it was going to be a little Star Wars heavy. So we have Star Wars Union, number 1, series that I want to pick up that I never read around the first time. This is the story of the wedding of Luke and Mara Jade, who I'm hoping that Mara Jade will make her small screen debut on Disney Plus at some point in the future. Also, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, of course. I don't care what they say on Key Collector app. That Star Wars half issue is not the first appearance of Qui-Gon and Anakin and Padme. And it's most of the time those books came out in Wizard, and you had to mail away from them. And usually you could never get the half issue before the regular series always wasn't out already. So it was always after the publication of that series that you would be able to get the half issue. So anywho. This happens to be a newsstand, which is why I picked it up. Tales of the Jedi, number 1, The Golden Age of the Sith. No spec behind this, it's just I'm a Star Wars fan and I want to read that. It's one of my favorite old school Star Wars covers, Star Wars Annual, number 3, cover and interiors by Klaus Janson, and I love that Darth Vader cover, man. One of my all-time favorites. Sticking on the dark side, rather. Shout out to Sith Lordly. We have Star Wars, The Rise of Kylo Ren, and this is the photo movie variant cover. And this cover is just utterly badass. Heavy metal all the way. Awesome. All right, how about for some 90s? So, Punisher Batman. You're not going to see this crossover again. Who knows? Probably ever. So, had to pick it up. Second copy. Nice pickup. Beavis and Butthead, scraping the jaw, scraping the jaw. Yeah, another one of those nostalgia pickups that I just came across in a long box. I think it was like either between $4 and $5, so why not? Stick it in the 90s. Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, number 34. I never have ever come across an Adam Hughes Tomb Raider cover that I didn't like. All right, let's move out for the last batch of books. All right, starting off with some of my obscure Bronze Age pickups. We have Daredevil number 153, which features the first appearance of Ben Urich, who was the narrator of Marvels and has been an ongoing supporting character in the Daredevil and Spider-Man titles pretty much since the 1970s. Newer viewers might know of the character after he was, spoilers, killed by a Kingpin in Season 1 of Daredevil on the Netflix series. So, but who knows? And I just thought it was a cool pickup. Moving on, we have Evel Knievel, number 1. I, like, in the 1970s, Star Wars, Superman, and Evel Knievel were my jams. So my parents used to make me go to bed at a strict time limit, I believe at 8 o'clock when I was on the elementary level, with the exception of any time that there was an Evel Knievel special. So, love that shit. That is my inner child right there. Moving on. E-Man #1. After picking up that issue that features John Byrne's first published comic book artwork, got me to thinking, and I wanted E-Man #1. Not that we'll ever see this character, there's no spec behind it, but he was one of those Charlton characters along with Blue Beetle, Captain Atom, that I used to get reprints of in 3-packs back in the 70s, early 80s. So just a nostalgic pickup. And I don't own many Charlton comics. Speaking of which, some more nostalgia. The $6 Million Man, #1. First appearance of the $6 Million Man in comic books. Yes. Another one of my jams from my childhood. Hey, there wasn't a lot to watch in the 70s, so don't judge me. So, very cool. Even though I think I'm up to like maybe 35 long boxes of comics for my personal collection now, I think I have probably less than a dozen Charlton comics. For some reason, I don't have many Charlton or Dell comics in my collection, so always nice to come across some that I'm interested in to pick them up. Here we have Tarzan of the Apes, #207, the first DC issue featuring this iconic Joe Kubert cover, and awesome stuff. This is just one of those little oddities that I've always wanted to pick up, and you know, finally getting around to it on my list. And speaking of Tarzan, here's Tarzan's brother, also the offspring of Edgar Rice, John Carter, Warlord of Mars #1, another one of those Bronze Age premiere issues that I've wanted to get eventually. I'm not a big John Carter fan. Now, the speculator in me, dare I say it, if there's anything ripe for like a Disney Plus series, I would say it'd be this franchise. They took a big L when they tried to release this as a movie, and Disney doesn't like to take L's. So there's only so much that they can stretch out the Star Wars franchise. So I can see them branching out with stuff like, you know, Warlord of Mars, Willow, so they can be a little bit more experimental and have more content for their streaming service. Or at least that's what that's what I'm hoping for anyway. Either way, glad to pick it up. Here we have Savage Sword of Conan #1, done by the late great George Perez, one of my favorite characters, done by my favorite old school artist. Oh, love it. And we'll end it off with some Jim Lee goodness. So here we have Conan the Barbarian #244, featuring this classic Jim Lee Conan versus Red Sonja cover. Second copy, love it. Will always pick that up whenever I can find it out there on the cheap. It's a no-brainer. Mad Max Fury Road. This is the Nerd Block Jim Lee variant. I think this is the least expensive out of all the #1s for Mad Max, and but I don't care, Jim Lee. And it was super cheap too. So is this the first appearance of Mad Max in comic books? That I'm not sure of. X-Men #11. Once again, classic Jim Lee, another comic that anytime that I can find it out there, you know, for under $5, I'm always picking this up. So I'm nowhere in... this is only my second copy, so I'm nowhere near competing with Reed Comics, but yeah, glad to pick it up. And finally, my pick of the whole, DC Universe Rebirth, Harley Quinn #1, the Jim Lee foil cover. This pretty, I would say, near mint. The only things that are wrong with it, there's like a little bit of fingerprint smudging there and there where the staples are. But these books are extremely, extremely hard to keep in ideal condition. I own this one. I own the Suicide Squad one also. I would love to pick up the Trinity of Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, but those are pretty pricey. So that's all I have for this month. Sorry about the rant, but I had to get some of that stuff off my chest, apparently. I will be back next month with a giant-sized 100th haul. So thank you all for watching, liking, subscribing, all the usual good mojo, and I will see you all later. Take care. See ya!